Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new here. This is Harlequin Intuitive, back with another pick a card reading. So the topic of today's reading, I haven't thought of a title name, so I will think about that after this. What I wanted to do with this topic today is channel basically messages of empowerment from either the solar deity, your own inner spark, or any kind of light code or flame code that you might have within your own template and system. So whichever one resonates with you the most, that is what I will be channeling. But for now, I guess we could focus on like the solar energy. And the reason why I wanted to channel this today is because where I live, we're basically in the heat of summer, and we get like a lot of sun here. And I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of that and hopefully give it back out to the world, especially in places that are in winter right now, with a lot of snow and a lot of cold. I'm literally living the complete opposite of that. Also, I live next to a lot of volcanoes. So if you guys also want to see this as almost like a volcanic energy reading, you can also see it as that as well. But it's really up to you, whatever you want to tap into, whatever messages of fire or energetic empowerment you would like to see this as. Please feel free to interpret it however you like, okay? So for my three groups today, group one, we have solar deity with the snowflake obsidian. For group number two, we have alchemy with the black hematite stone. And for group number three, we have strength with the blue howlite. So I'm going to be revealing to you these cards just so that you can see them and hopefully make your choice. So again, group one, solar deity. Group two is alchemy. And group three is strength. So go ahead and choose which one calls out to you the most, and then I will meet you at your reading. So let's begin by shuffling the cards and casting our intention. We're going to be asking for these three groups, please, channeling the energy of the sun or the solar deity, or the volcanic energy that is stored within the earth. What do they need to know about tapping into this energy, and what would this energy like to transmit to them at this time? So beginning with group one, please, the solar deity. What empowering messages would like to come through at this time? And for group number two, please, what empowering messages would like to come through at this time? Group two. And for group number three, please, what empowering messages would like to come through at this time? Channeled from the solar deity. Okay. That being said, go ahead and make your choice, and I will meet you at your reading at the timestamps below. So, let me put You know, I am still not completely sure which one I want to use. I think I'll use traditional Rider-Waite, and then any clarity will come in from the fire cards. Okay. I'm drinking my giant gallon of water because, like I said, it's very hot where I live. A lot of tropical intense sun, and that is why I want to channel these messages, because I have so much sunlight and there are other places in the world that have so little that I want to just like give it out into the world, you know. So welcome group 1. This is going to be your reading. If you chose the snowflake obsidian, this is going to be the channeled messages from the solar deity for you, and you chose the solar deity card as well. So I think I'm just gonna, no, I'll leave it right there. All right, so what wants to come through for group number 1, please? Empowering messages. The 6 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. Let me just wait for this noise pollution to get out of the way here. The 6 of Cups and the 10 of Wands, I feel with you, group 1, a very stuck and stagnant energy, which is probably why you were drawn to this reading. You have an unconscious desire to liberate this energy. With the 6 of Cups, this picture is, let me get my wand here, my whammy bar wand. So this is a skeleton type of person who is being consumed by this boa constrictor. And he is trying to look back at his past, at these spilled cups that have been destroyed, and his hometown, which has also been set on fire and destroyed. If this is the energy that's coming through with you, plus the 10 of Wands, which is about oppression and the desire to end old cycles, and end this kind of burden that you've been carrying. This is a character who's made of many mouths with like a cloak. He's like a cloaked figure, and he has this bundle of sticks that he has nowhere to use them. The way I'm seeing this is like there's something in your past, some kind of emotional blockage or some kind of grief or sadness that is preventing you from moving on. And you're still holding on to this energy because you on some level want to resolve it, but you have to really just let it go in order to move forward. Let's see what the Rider-Waite has to say about this. What do we need to know? How is this a message of empowerment, Rider-Waite? Why is this something that they need to understand for group number 1, please? Priestess, the Magician. Okay. So the major arcana that we have for you, let me just move this around so you can see it. Major arcana that we have for you is the Magician and the High Priestess. Now, let me just... Notice how much emotional energy is in this reading. You have something that is stuck emotionally that you don't want to move on from unconsciously because of some kind of hope that it will be resolved in some way. But the Magician and the Priestess to me is interesting because it's like they follow each other they follow each other directly. In fact, I want to put the Priestess up here where she belongs. It's almost like channeled messages from your higher self wants to come through. What I feel like is like a heart energy. Like this is about the heart here, these two cards. Notice how these characters are blocking their heart. This is part of the oppressive energy that you are dealing with, because it's an inability to open up the heart space and receive something new. I feel like what this solar energy is trying to get you to understand is that you need to release something. You need to let go of an insecurity and drop your weapons, so to speak, so that this can be cleared. Because I really see this clearing energy on a spiritual level. It could be happening like, in dream state or something along the lines of that, where, emotional clearing needs to happen in order for you to unlock this inner spark that has been kept kind of like blocked off from you. With a high priestess, you could be researching and intellectualizing information too much. That's what I'm getting with this. Although she can be very emotional and very in tune with the feminine, intuitive side, I feel like you might be trying to find information that will release you, when what this energy is saying is that it's going to be more emotional in nature. You have to literally like trust in the feeling aspect and focus more on the feeling aspect of it rather than the mental, because it has to channel through you. And for some of you, I'm getting like this really intense energy of like almost like feeling like you're on fire. Like the emotional discomfort is so great that it's almost like you feel like you're on fire. And so that's why it's almost like the heart space has like blocked off and turned itself to stone, because it's so uncomfortable to deal with that you've been maybe seeking like spiritual advice or even psychological advice as a way to help you, which is probably really good, but it's like you still have to kind of like channel this through something in order to let go of your past. So I'm going to ask if there's any advice that would like to come through. First of all, is there anything else we need to know about the situation? And then I'll ask her advice. Anything else we need to know about their situation for group 1, please? What is the solar energy trying to transfer to them right now? Wow. So you got the Queen of Cups and Death. There's definitely a transformative experience happening here. What I see happening is that this energy is trying to open you up to the feminine on a certain level that maybe you have not understood before or have not had access to before. The Queen of Cups is a highly creative, nurturing, caring, motherly type of figure. She's definitely part of the divine feminine realm. Everything around her grows, basically. Everything around her is nourished by her energy because she is so healing. And so with the death process here, there's something that needs to be let go of in order for you to be open to this energy. And part of that has to do with the past. Part of that has to do with the things that you're holding on to that you might not be conscious of. It might be underlying patterns, underlying situations that you've been seeking spiritual advice to clear this, but it has to come from within and it has to come from you opening this up. So the energy that I'm getting, especially with the Death card, that this is in the realm of Scorpio, and Pluto, you know, it's like plus all of this water elements here. What I feel is almost like the energy of Pluto being warmed by the sun. When Pluto makes a transit, Pluto is like a block of ice, and the reason why it has such an irregular orbit is because every time that it heats up a little bit, it melts and completely shifts. But then when it goes back out of into a further distance from the sun, it freezes up again. And so I feel like this is a pattern that has occurred for you in your heart space, that it's really saying like you have kept your heart frozen for too long, and now it's time to allow that warmth to come in and melt it out and thaw it out. And that has to do with the feminine force. If you are a masculine and you seek that in a feminine, it might have to be about healing your connection to the feminine. If you are a female, it has to do with healing that connection to yourself and to your own type of emotional energy. This is a reading of emotional release that has had a long time coming, and that is a total transformation of your energy field and yourself. So finally, I'm just going to ask for group 1, please. Is there any advice that would like to come through regarding their situation? Anything that they can take from this? Any guidance that would like to come through for them from moving forward with this? Any guidance for group 1, please? Oh, the Knight of Pentacles was covering the moon. Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, the first message that I got, and this might not apply to everybody. What are you working on? And why is your work covering your emotional receptivity? Look at how these cards on this side are very intuitive and emotional and magical. But then we have this very kind of, I don't want to say stern, I want to say controlled energy coming in with the Knight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles that is covering up the moon. So the Knight of Pentacles is all about what you work on for the long haul, what you invest in. And this is an interesting card because it's like, you know, it's a skeletal horse, and it's chasing the coin through the storms and through the fields, but the coin is being administered by a type of shadow figure or a type of web, that it's like, how long are you going to keep chasing this meaning that you are chasing? How long are you going to keep trying to improve yourself? Because this horse here, I feel like it's almost like emotional anorexia or intimacy anorexia, where it's like you're not letting yourself experience the fullness of life because you're chasing after this value that is really just kind of an illusion. You're not totally aware that the things that you're building, and with the Ten of Pentacles I see this reflected, there's something that you've built in your life, potentially with your career or with your value system or with what you value, that is distorted, and it's not allowing you to see the emotional depth of yourself, of your psyche, of your soul, and of the feminine force. So there's something that you have built that is a shield that is blocking you from tapping into your true intuitive power. And nothing that you chase after in terms of intellect or in terms of spiritual knowledge, none of that is going to make up for the truth, which is, this is a deep personal transformation that you have to go through in order to heal the feminine force within you and to heal your emotional state and to let go of all of these things that you're holding on to from your past. The solution is the Knave of Wands or the Page of Wands, which is, in my opinion, this card is about wandering into the unknown, carrying that torch, carrying that inner flame to guide you. So following your soul spark, that means following something that actually has meaning, following something that actually has passion for you, instead of building something. Notice how we have the image of this skull here, on like discarded in the corner. You have to leave behind what has died in your life, or what no longer has meaning in your life. You have to leave behind that persona in order to enter the void of the unknown, in order to open up to new territories and new landscapes and new dimensions, because it's time for you to let that go now. And that is what this solar deity is channeling for you. It's ultimately about finding that soul spark from within, instead of what you build to protect yourself from your emotional vulnerabilities. So group 1, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that you benefited from this reading in some way. Please remember, it is just a general reading. So if you would like a personal reading, I am available for that as well. You can find a link to that in the description box below. Otherwise, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of the reading, and I hope to see you again in the future for more videos. So take care, and talk to you guys later. Whoops, I don't want to mess up the camera. That was a good one. Real nice. Okay. All right. Moving on now. Group 2, Alchemy. Hi, Group 2, if you chose the Alchemy card and the black hematite stone, this is going to be your reading. Again, you chose this card, the Alchemy card. And the reason why I'm doing this reading is to try to channel some of that solar energy, because I have so much solar energy in the place I live right now. I'm in the heat of summer in a tropical region, and I feel like there's a lot of places in the world that aren't receiving a lot of sunlight right now, and so I wanted to try to channel that into an empowering message for people out there. So you chose the Alchemy card. I will explain that in a moment. Let's go ahead and see what other cards you got. The Sun, very fitting, but in this case it's the Black Sun. And the Two of Swords. Let me just tap into it. First of all, you chose the Alchemy card. This is traditionally temperance in the traditional tarot deck. So alchemy is all about like a irreversible chemical transformation that requires like a whole process in order to be completed. As well as temperance, it's about, you know, using your own intelligence to manipulate substances in order to create something, but it can also create your destruction or the destruction of other elements. So, you know, it's a deep process. But with the Sun card, you know, this is a card with a lion figure with a horse standing on top of a staircase with a kind of like wall that's been torn down, and the sun is now visible in the background, the black sun, of course, which is all about the truth being exposed in the world, and, you know, the darkness of the world being revealed through shining the light on it. And who is at the top of the staircase? We have a lion that has a crown on his head, and a horse. Let me just see it closer because I can't see. The horse, I believe, has some kind of snake wrapped around his arm, or his leg, rather. And I think that this card represents a huge triumph. Like this card represents like an achievement for you. With the Two of Swords, here we see this energy of this woman who is, this is the energy of self-sabotage. She's fighting against this giant snake, this giant boa constrictor. She has one knife against his neck and one knife against her own neck because the snake is behind him. So these types of situations that sometimes we become a part of, it's because we don't see the situation clearly, that we then think that we have to sabotage ourselves as a solution to maintain the peace in some way, but really your enemy is standing right behind you. So I will draw more cards to see what else wants to come through, but overall what I'm seeing so far as channeled messages from the solar energy, the solar deity, is you are on a path of triumph, you are on a path of revelations, but there's still something that you need to see clearly in terms of your own personal strength and power. Like, it hasn't fully been revealed itself to you, but it's a process that you're going through. So let's just see what the Rider-Waite has to say in terms of clarity. What do we need to know about their situation for group 2, please? For group 2, please, what do we need to know about their situation? Alchemy, the Sun, and the Two of Swords. Oh. Okay. Alright. I'll take it. Okay, this was covering up this. The star is covering up the Tower. I take these very seriously when they cover up cards. And these 3. So, let's go ahead and tap into it. We were talking about revelations, right? Here we have, let me show it to you. The 4 of Swords was the first one, I believe, to come up, and the 5 of Swords. I think that these cards with the Hangman, it's like a refusal to acknowledge a conflict, a refusal to acknowledge your own truth, maybe out of trying to keep the peace, or out of feeling like you've been destroyed in some way. And I know that might be a little personal, but like, this conflict here with these people or the situation has been kind of devastating, where I feel like you've almost been accused of something that you haven't done, or you've been kind of like attacked in some way that is not really fair. And with the Hangman and the 4 of Swords, it's almost like you're waiting for it to pass, or you're in the process of healing from this conflict, that it doesn't matter who won or who lost, you still know what your truth is, and you're just kind of resting and waiting to see what happens next, to waiting to see if it blows over. The reason why I say this is because with these cards, you know, we have the 4 of Wands covering up the Knight of Swords. This to me shows a desire to keep the peace, a desire to have balance between you and the people in your life, or a certain sense of comfort and stability. And then covering up the Knight of Swords, it's like, maybe it's almost like there are certain words that have been said that have been kind of brushed under the rug, or like ignored out of wanting to keep the peace. Like, oh, it's okay that you totally stabbed me in the back. I'm just going to ignore that so that we can have peace and so that everyone can be happy. It's almost like this energy is saying that it's unresolved. There's a conflict that has been unresolved with certain people. Another thing that shows me that is the star covering the Tower. So when we have the star covering the Tower, this is the chaos that you don't want to acknowledge. This is the chaos that's the truth of the black sun, of the truth of your situation, that maybe your family has fallen apart, maybe your home life and your personal relationships have fallen apart, maybe your work life has fallen apart, maybe your society and your culture and your friends have fallen apart, because there's a lot of things that are being rebuilt right now in the world, and this in a personal reading is about a personal loss in terms of a structure that maybe has been built being torn down, because it's that's simply how it goes. It's just not going to last or stand the test of time. But having the star covering up this card here shows me that it's almost like a blind optimism covering up the truth, or a hope that something will be revealed is covering up the truth. This card here to me with the Magician is asking you to tap into your personal power and your personal abilities and your personal vision and perspective of this situation, because I see a lot of chaos. And when we have this, like the sun is a revelation. The sun is something that is being revealed to you. With the Two of Swords, it's almost like I feel like out of a certain situation that has happened regarding a desire to keep the peace, or maybe it's easier for you to take the blame, or it's easier for you to just not say anything about your situation. This is causing you to self-sabotage and not see the truth clearly. So what this solar energy and this solar deity is channeling to you is shine the light on your truth, shine the light on your perspective. Instead of covering up with this kind of blind optimism, allow yourself to see that things have been destroyed, that your relationships or your personal connections have been destroyed out of the way that they have handled the situation, out of the way that they have gone against you and betrayed you in some way. I see a lot of pain here. I see a lot of betrayal. I see a lot of resentments that have been just kind of ignored because you haven't wanted to face the truth. And so this is causing like an inner alchemy, in my opinion, for you, where the teaching really is see your situation clearly and take your power back and see the truth. So that being said, I'm just going to ask the fire cards for some advice for you. Any steps that you need to take or any advice that you need to know at this time. Channeled from your inner spark, the solar deity, or any light codes or flame codes that would like to come through. Wow. Okay, there's quite a few messages here. The first one that came up was justice, of course. This makes a lot of sense. You need to find the strength in order to make a decision or allow things to balance out on their own simply by seeing the truth and acknowledging the truth. Like, you're definitely in the right in your situation. Don't allow people to gaslight you in a way and make you think that you're in the wrong. You have struggled a lot with the Nine of Wands. It's saying your struggle is almost over. Justice is going to prevail. But then we have the King and Queen of Pentacles. This could represent a relationship with you and a partner. This could represent authority figures, parental figures. But it came in with the Three of Swords. Notice how I see two figures here and then the three, two figures here that kind of carry this control or authority, and then the blade piercing through that with the three. Like there's two truths and then your blade is piercing through that, and then it goes back also to the Two of Swords. You see how everything ties back around? The Two of Swords is your doubt and insecurity. You don't know which action to take. But the one that follows that is the Three of Swords, because when you make up your mind and to see the truth clearly, you pierce through any doubt and insecurity. And this causes a lot of pain and a lot of conflict, especially with potential authority figures, or a relationship that is just very well established, very well enmeshed. The King and the Queen of Pentacles, it could also be telling you to take matters into your own hands and find your own value, and not let yourself do not submit to any authority figures. Like you are like maybe it's saying that you are empowered at this time and you have the ability. I just saw a repeating symbol here, devoured by snakes. The girl being devoured by a snake here and here, except in this case she's underwater because her value is kind of hidden because she's the Queen of Pentacles. She doesn't overtly take action. The King of Pentacles is the one that kind of has reign. So maybe this is about using your power, using your, like, valuing yourself in order to see the truth clearly and face this authority figure, or face whoever it is that has had control over you during this time. If it's a financial situation where you are possibly financially dependent on another person, seeing the truth clearly will help you make a decision as far as what to do next. Because I see that, like, justice is on your side, and you've already worked so hard that it's like, this has to come to an end, okay? But the teaching, the main lesson of this reading is about seeing the truth clearly. Okay, so group 2, I'm going to leave this reading at that for you. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope that it brought some light to your struggles. Please remember, this is just a general reading, so if you would like a personal reading, I am available for that as well. You can find the link to that in the description box below. Otherwise, go ahead, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the future for more readings. So take care and talk to you guys later. Okay. For my last and final group. Alright. Hi group 3, if you chose the blue howlite stone along with the strength card, this is going to be your reading on channeled messages from the solar deity in order to empower you. So, judgment. Ooh, powerful, powerful. Okay, so first of all, the strength card. This is the traditional strength card in the tarot deck, number 8. Again, it's all about personal strength and power. But we have 2 major arcana come in with this. We have the Judgment card, which in this deck, this is a horned figure. Let me just take a look closer because I can't see. There's a symbol of, like, the crosses, and there's like a sphinx type of character with, like, skulls, and I can't really see it that clearly, but the Judgment card is all about closing great cycles, grand cycles, and finding a sort of healing and forgiveness in that. Maybe more will be revealed. But we also have the Devil, which is, this is the classic image of the Lucifer character rising from the dead, perhaps, and shining the light bringer. So, take this with a grain of salt, you guys. Like, these are just symbols. This is just a reading. But the way that I see this energy being channeled, it's like a very empowering message, because this character looks a little sad to me. He looks a little bit like he's been kind of suppressed for a while. And then this character is, like, totally empowered. It's just like he's rising up from the dead. Remember, the story is that, he was exiled from the kingdom of heaven, and so then he rises up to bring the light in a certain way onto the earth, in a way exposing false systems. And so this is a message that's coming in that it's like it's asking you to shine your inner strength and light in a very, like, primal way. Also, I want to say that in a very primal way, like tapping into a very primal instinct in order to kind of shine the light on cycles that have gone on for too long, that need to be ended at this time, that need to be closed. I see a gate closing for you. I see a new beginning also, but also a personal understanding of who you are and the power that you have in order to like almost like embodying this power and then using it as a way to kind of like heal your past or close the past cycles and these types of things. So I'm just going to ask the Rider Waite if there's any clarity that would like to come through. What do we need to know about group 3? Another word that came up was rebellion. This is about rebellion, like rebelling against old systems. So let's just see what wants to come through. That's an escape. Oh, what I see is people breaking apart. I see like a split being made between you and your own value system, your own energies, and breaking away from somebody else. But I also see, because you got the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. These naturally are in the same kingdom, and so are these. But this is all about warfare and strategy. This is about disarming your enemy. And maybe what this is saying is like, it's really interesting because these are so powerful, and then these are kind of like strategically soft in a way. Like you are disarming your enemy through kindness or through light in a way. But there is a struggle, no doubt. I see possibly finding healing and forgiveness for your past, in the sense that the things that you were involved in, or the conflicts that you were involved in, it's almost like you are leaving that behind and finding a way to kind of not let that gain any more power. But you're doing it through a sense of healing. So let me just see if we can get... Because I feel like the Queen of Cups sent out this knight. It's almost like, you know, when you kind of like kill somebody with kindness. That's the image that I'm getting here. So why is this something that you need to know? Let me just see if we can get more clarity on this. Why is this something that has to do with these cards? I don't understand, really. Well, there's an element of protecting yourself, and then there's the element of looking on the horizon. I feel like what it is that you're expanding beyond your past. And remember what I was saying about this primal energy. It's almost like you have so much, you're being empowered on such a deep level that it's like you can only use that in an appropriate way, so to speak. Like, I don't know if I'm kind of rambling here, but it's almost like, you know, the Knight and the Queen of Cups, it's all about devoting yourself to your emotional integrity. This is a very, like, a lot about emotional integrity. What do you value? I feel like it's almost like you're not willing to do things that other people are doing, or you're not willing to do things that other people want to do. And so you're really just kind of protecting yourself and focusing on yourself and building a kind of future. What else, though? What else for group 3, please? How is this a message of empowerment? Like, what else do we need to know about their situation? Clear guided messages, please. Three of Cups. The World. There is definitely like a liberating energy here. I feel like for some of you, it's like like you're not willing to do something for money that other people are doing. You don't value the same things that other people value, and you can find a sort of happiness in the simple things in your own kind of perspective. And so I feel like you are protecting yourself because you've finally tapped into this energy. This is a forgiveness energy and a rebellion energy. So if you are rebelling against any group of people, you know that you have to do this kind of like silently. Like you have to move in silence and just completely focus on your own safety, your own self-care, your own spirituality, and not really let anyone else know about this, because this is about your own liberation. And we see the world repeated here twice to show that this is, I feel like what this is, it's like a final test for you in order to finally embark onto something greater. That makes a lot of sense. Because it's like you are freeing yourself from being hung up on the stuff from the past. And it's a very empowering energy. That it's like a lot can be released through this. So finally, group 3, I'm just going to ask if there's any advice that would like to come through. Any advice that would like to come through for group 3, please. Wow. We have the Hermit, the Ace of Cups, the Page of Cups. I think we almost have the whole family here. The Page, the Knight, the Queen. Everyone is missing except the King. Oh, and then 8 and 9. Okay, okay, what these cards are saying is focus on what you love, first of all. It's almost like you're going back to a sort of sense of when you were a child or when you were young, that I see you like taking care of yourself. Like it's almost like you were recently in a battle and now you're healing yourself from that battle. Whatever that outcome was, it's like you gained your own freedom. The Hermit is asking you to kind of go on your own journey and your own path forward. This has to do with your own personal self. Nobody else needs to be involved here. Nobody else's opinion matters. There's like a fresh new start regarding your emotional investments, and this is going to be very prosperous for you, because we have the 8 of Pentacles here followed by the 9. Again, with the Hermit, you are tapping into your own personal self-worth and building upon that, and this is going to act as your shield. This is going to act as your protection against the forces from the past. You have to go your own path. You have to go your own way. And the guidance that you use in order to make your decisions has to be from the emotional plane. How does this benefit me emotionally? Reflecting on your past, reflecting on who you really are, and building something of value from that, whether that's like starting a business or like, working on your skills or working on yourself. I really see you overcoming a lot of chaos through knowing yourself and building upon yourself. So group 3, I'm going to leave this reading at that for you. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I hope that it benefited you in some way. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this reading. And also remember that this is just a general reading, so if you would like a personal reading, I am available for that as well. You can find the link to that in the description box below. Otherwise, I hope to see you again soon, and take care. Bye.